Hello there guys, hope you're well. MrYorkiesWorld here. This is going to be another flight in the 747-400 today. We are with British Airways BA283, all the way from EGLL Heathrow to Los Angeles. And we have pay-where airports for both, so this should be a pretty interesting flight. I believe I've done Gatwick to LA before, but I'm not sure. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and put some fuel in. Today we're going to be taking 254,177 pounds of fuel. We are very, very heavy today. The actual load level is not that heavy. We haven't got that many passengers on, but nevertheless, we can switch on the IRS as to nav. We're going to try and get out of here as soon as possible. I think that we've got the passenger signs on. Yep, we've got the no smoking and the passenger signs on. That's fine. Auto brake can go to RTO. The flight itself today should be taking about 11.5 hours, but you never know, we might be there before, we might be there after. And I've just done the cheater's way out again with the Barrow, just setting the altimeter there with B. We can go to the FMC page now. Pausing it. Yes, I'm about to do that. EGLL. We are at gate 572 at the moment. Don't know whether this is the actual gate that you usually go from, but there we go. We can take the GPS position and stick it in there as well. And route. We've already got the route set up and everything. I have cleaned up the folder as always, just to make things a little bit better. EGLL-KLAX. And that is going to load in all the route for us. But anyway, we have some catering on the go. And I've actually got a left-wing view, look at that. Managed to get one for every aircraft in the sim now, so there will no longer be that situation of not having one and having to pan all the way through the cabin. Nevertheless, we can go ahead and set the runway heading today. We're going to be taking off from runway 09 left, which is 092 on the heading. Let's just sort some doors out, because GSX is not going to shut up. I've got rid of that annoying noise as well. As part of the GSX voice pack that I made, I also removed the annoying beeping sound. But that's it. I do have some exciting news for you as well. For those of you who have been asking about what I do in terms of traffic, I've just purchased the Ultimate Traffic Live. I think that's what they call it. And I am currently going through the stages of setting that up. I'm not going to be using that in this flight, but it will be very, very interesting to use that in a future flight. So I'm going to set the altitude today, which is going to be 320 initially. VORs, traffic data, flight director, VORs, traffic and data. There we go. Yeah, so it should be pretty good actually. EGLL to KLAX, or KLAX, 09 left on the runway, and the flight number is going to be BAW283, Bravo Alpha Whiskey 283. Stick that in there, activate and execute. Perfinit page. Yeah, we're going to sort the wind out in just a second. Perfinit. Zero fuel weight is 463.7. And we're going to be taking a reserves of 10.8. Stick that in there. Cost index for BA, I believe, is 50. So stick that in there. And what else? Just going to open some doors so the passengers can start boarding. Even though, what the hell's happened there? So because we don't have any gate or jetway or anything like that, this is essentially what happens. This is exactly what happens. I don't even know whether we're at the right gate, to be honest. According to FlightAware, that's the gate that we set off from, but obviously my scenery is not quite correct. Nevertheless, 320 in the cruise altitude initially. That will be going up to 390. I'm going to use a 10% D rate. I've no idea. I'm not an expert with flaps 20. I'm not an expert on the D rate, so I don't really bother about them. And we can go ahead now and calculate the V speeds, but we just need to go ahead and have a quick look at the weather. So 141, 153 and 165. There we go. 165 on the V2 speed. LNAV and VNAV. Passengers have been boarded, we're just waiting for the baggage now. And we should be good to go. We might as well go ahead and start the APU as well, get all that started up ready. And we can just have a look at the fuel page. So we have got fuel in the centre, fuel in the left, and we've also got fuel in the right. So we can switch on all the fuel pumps. We will get a warning very shortly after takeoff to say that we need to switch off the centre pumps because we've not got a lot of fuel in there. But that's not a problem. We are just waiting for the APU gens to become available and then we can switch the power over. But in the meantime, let's just have a look outside the aircraft. You can see that I don't know what's going on, where the baggage trucks are or anything like that, and I also don't know what's going on with the jetway, because we haven't got a jetway, we don't have any stairs installed or anything like that. Still waiting for the APU gens. In the meantime, while we actually wait for that, we can go ahead and have a look at the legs page. This is going to be the route. We have not yet selected the star, but we will be using the Charlie Papa Tango 4 kilo departure. If I can find it. There we go. CPT 4K. I'm just going to get rid of all these weird warnings. We'll be fine. Just clear that. Legs. Just going to get rid of any discontinuities. Can't see any just yet. Let's have a look at the actual route on the... if I can get it. Oh, what's happening? There we go. Right. Go to plan mode. And we can have a look at the actual route. So, zoom out a little bit. 09 left. Not much of a departure, but this is according to... that's what the SID says, so that's what we're going to do. And again, we're going to select the star once we get a little bit closer. There's no point in doing it yet. We can bring up the engine page just until we need it. And there we go, APU gens are available. So that's the power switched over. Pack 1 can come on. And I think that's it, to be honest. We're just going to go ahead and wait for the baggage to actually be loaded and the passengers to... well, the passengers are already on by the looks of it, but I don't know how they get on the aircraft. But anyway, I'll see you in just a sec. Okay, so we're back again now. I'm literally just going to go ahead and close some doors now. We've got it all sorted. The forward and aft cargo can get closed and all that lot. That was pretty bizarre. I have no idea how the passengers got on the aircraft, considering the fact that we've got no jetway or anything, but there we go. Switch the TCAS on and we can just go ahead and give it a quick test just to make sure it's working fine. Shouldn't be any reason why not. The beacon light can go to both.
TCAS test pass.
And that's passed, so that's all fine. Right. So, pushback and departure. We're going to use British Airways, as always. Let me just have a look on little nav map. Which direction are we going? Right, so we're going to go tail right. Yes, we do want to start the engines during pushback, not after. And we should be able to see the tug at some point soon. Let's just go ahead and remove the ground connections first. There we are. And we can switch on the hydraulics. That's all sorted. Ground to flight deck, we are ready to commence pushback. Got the engine page up now, everything's sorted for that. We can put the right FMC onto the legs page as well. And the left one onto the takeoff ref page. I was just on that then, I don't know why I came off of it. There's no difference in the V-speeds, we just had to recalculate them, but that's fine. And that is it, it's just a case of waiting now. We'll be able to start the engines up and everything. I'm going to use this little gizmo just to put the flight number in there, which is going to be 283. It's something that real pilots would do, I'm assuming, but there we go. Release the parking brake. Commencing push. All engines are clear. Clear to start at your discretion. And we can start the engines now. Yeah, it's something that they do with that little gizmo, the memory device. And we appear to have some sort of warning, which I'll have a look at in just a second. Just listen to those engines spooling up. Okay, so that should be the engine number 2 cut out, which we just heard. There we go. We can start engine 2 and 1 now. Stick some fuel in there. And I can get up the brand new left wing view. Hey, that rhymes actually. Spooling up there. Might need to adjust my sound settings just so you can hear it a little bit better in the future, but apart from that, I think we're okay. Alright, so eventually when GSX finishes pushing us back, which should be any time soon, there were the cutouts for 2 and 1. Just put hydraulic number 4 back to auto and set the parking brake. Right. Okay. So, bring the stat page up and we can do a quick flight control test. So full left, and I'll do that again just so you can see. Full left, and back to centre, and full right, and back to centre as well. We can go left and right on the rudder, that's full left, full right, back to centre, and we can go forward and back with the yoke. However, for some reason it always does this. There we go. A little bit buggy there, but it's fine. It could be due to the wind or something. Packs 2 and 3 back to normal now. Or switch them on to normal, should I say. Because they were switched off. Unlocking the gear now. Flaps 20. And if I go and take a look at those. We are disconnected. The bypass pin has been removed. There we go. We can see them being deployed. I may well need to turn down the brightness a little bit. That looks a little bit too bright for me on the wing. Although it could be due to the weather, I don't actually know. But there we go. Some flaps being deployed. In preparation for takeoff. Left and right engines clear. Okay, so we're all clear. We can go ahead and set the trim now, which needs to be set to 6.5, no, 6.3. I'm literally just going to set it about there. That's good enough for me, to be honest. Switch off the APU. Wait for the GSX fellow over there to move out of the way. At some point it would be nice, but look at that. Nice Heathrow scenery. No idea why the simulator has put us in this location. According to FlightAware, the gate should have been an actual gate, not just like a ramp or something. I've no idea. Anyway, taxi and turn-offs. Suppose we're going to have to deal with what we've got. Parking brakes released. Little bit of power. Loving the sound of the engine spooling up there. And we're on our way. Okay, so just a little bit of information about this flight. Again, we're going to be departing from runway 09 left here at Heathrow. That is the active runway, according to Flight Radar 24. And we're going to be using the CPT Charlie Papa Tango 4 Kilo departure, travelling west out of the UK and over the North Atlantic. We're going to be covering around 5,725 miles, which is hopefully going to take approximately 11 hours and 30 minutes. And we will hopefully be landing over at KLAX at runway 24 right. That is if the forecast is right for the winds. Again, just to finalise, we are with BA283 British Airways in the 747-400. So, there we go. We are still on our way to runway 09 left, so in the meantime, I will do a little bit of video editing magic, and we'll see you in just a little bit. Okay, so we are approaching 09 left now. We can go ahead and switch the transponder to TA and RA. Try not to lose control of the aircraft while I try and make that turn. Probably a little bit too much power there. But here we are, coming up on the runway. Looking good. Again, we don't have any traffic at the moment, but when I get the ultimate traffic live working, I think that's what they call it. I'm sure that's what they call it. But anyway, when I get that working, we will be forced to check on Little Nav Map and also on the traffic radars and stuff like that, and actually look where we're going. Because I've been meaning to get a traffic add-on for a long time, and it looks really, really useful. So it'll just add a little bit of realism to it. Start the clock. Landing lights can come on, taxi lights off. Just going to make our way a little bit further up here, spool up the engines, and we can go ahead and toga. Airspeed's alive. Nice and central with the runway.
80 knots.
V1.
There's V1.
Rotate.
Rotate.
V2. Positive rate of climb.
Positive rate. Gear up. Look at that. Goodbye, Heathrow. Nice to see you nice. If anybody's wondering, I have changed my settings a little bit in the sim, just to accommodate the... there we go with the fuel warning message with the fuel centre. We'll sort that out in a second. I have changed my settings a little bit to accommodate London Heathrow. That's why we're not experiencing very much lag. Switch on the autopilot now. Up with the flaps to about 10. Look at that. Again, this is one of the main reasons I absolutely love flying in the sim. See you later, Heathrow. So we have got that warning there, just telling us about the fuel pumps, so I'll switch off the left and right fuel pumps in just a second. Wait while we get a little bit further up. We can bring up the flaps. But there we have it. Whoa. Sort the view out a little bit. And we've got some of the warning, which I'm assuming... yep, it's to do with the fuel pumps. So we're going to go ahead and sort those out. With a quick click and click. Left and right switched off. Those messages should now go away. There we are. And that's it, problem dealt with. Now we are going a little bit over speed, so I'm just going to use the intervene a little bit. I don't know why it sets it to 265 whenever we come out of of a London airport, whether it be Gatwick or Heathrow. We always seem to be going about 260 or 265, which is not really what we want, to be honest. Nevertheless, I'm going to bring it down quite a bit. Look at that view. I mean, you just can't go wrong. I absolutely love the views. Apologies about the black textures, though. Unfortunately, you do have to sacrifice a little bit when it comes to having amazing views like that. Clouds, eventually I will get some updated clouds. The Rex soft clouds at the moment that I've got are fantastic, but there are better add-ons. I think it's Rex Skyforce, and they can be quite impressive compared to the Rex soft clouds. So speed's going nicely. We're not really going to be doing much climbing at the moment. It's going to be a basic 6,000 feet for a while. So I might as well take a look at some of these amazing views that we're going to have. I mean, we can't see anything right now because of the low-level cloud, but look at that. And now we can't see anything. Brilliant. Fantastic. So what I think I'm going to do is I might as well just skip straight ahead into the cinematics, because we're not going to be able to see much at all, considering the very bad weather. Oh, hang on. Hold up, we might be okay. Pressurization I've had to set to standard, but then again we're under 6,000 now, so I don't know what's going on. 249 on the speed, we're still going a little bit over speed. Nevertheless, some more beautiful scenery just before we head into those cinematics. Look at that. Might just be able to see a little bit more if we come out of the clouds. Here we go. Perfect. That is amazing. So anyways, I will see you guys in a bit. We're going to go ahead and put some cinematics on. Hope you enjoy, and we'll see you a little bit later on into the flight. Okay guys, so we have covered quite a few miles. To you it would just be a few minutes, but now we are literally 50 minutes away from landing, around 330 nautical miles to be exact. Lovely wing view there. And if we go ahead and take a look at the other wing view as well in just a moment, if I can get it working, there we go. As you can see, we are not at Heathrow anymore. Again, around 330 nautical miles away from the destination, which is not too bad, to be exact. It's been around 11 hours, I should imagine. at least. Or almost. We're going to go ahead and select the approach. We are indeed going to be landing at 24 right. ILS 24 right. And we're going to be using the Sivu 2, if that's the right way of pronouncing it. If we can find it, where is it? Is it in here? There we go. That's the star that we're going to be using. And if we go to the legs page and just clear up some discontinuities now. There will be some more somewhere. There we go, there's another one. Any more? No. So we're okay. So now, if we go back onto the legs page and we bring up the displays next to each other so we can see the route. This is essentially what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be coming in all the way down here. In between the mountains, by the way, because the mountains over in LA are quite difficult to maneuver around otherwise. It's going to basically take us directly onto the ILS feathers, so that should be absolutely fantastic. Just looking at the times there, it looks as if it's actually been around 10 hours, so we are actually quite early. We're going to be landing about 40 minutes early. That can't be right, surely. But we did have quite a strong tailwind on the way, so I don't know whether that's caused that. But anyway, nevertheless, that's it. There isn't really much else we can do apart from admire these lovely views. I did forget to put the strobe lights on when I took off. I acknowledge that, and I've actually corrected that throughout the flight, so apologies about that. That's a decent view. I mean, look at that. There we go. British Airways BA283. 50 minutes approximately away from the destination. Okay guys, so we are now about ready to start the descent. So we're going to set the minimums for runway 24 right, and that's going to be 318. But for some reason, I'm having this problem with the barrow again. I might have to go down into the FMC and change some settings so that we can use the different technique of actually putting in the barrows. So, aircraft, equipment, there we go, slow/fast. Right, that should work a little bit better than rotary. We're now 10.5 hours exactly, by the looks of it, into the flight. The time is incorrect on the aircraft. It's still stuck at UK time for some reason. I don't know how to actually change that. If anybody does know, let me know. Nevertheless, we are setting 318 on the barrows. There we go. That's the minimum set. We've already set the auto brakes to 2. Now, it is a relatively short runway, but according to Flight Radar 24, not Flight Aware, Flight Radar 24, this sort of aircraft does land on that runway. So, there we go. And that's the active runway over there at the moment, is 24 right, or one of the active runways. So we should be fine. I'm going to start reducing the speed and reducing the descents and stuff down to what it says in the FMC. And we're basically going to follow that to each waypoint as we make our approach in. Those mountains ahead of you that you see at the moment, or ahead of us, should I say, they're not going to be a problem because if you look in between them both, there is a groove. And the approach that we're using allows us to basically go right in between. So that's going to be perfect for us. So anyway, I'll catch up with you guys a little bit later on when we should be lined up and ready to make our final approach into KLAX. Okay guys, so we are a little bit closer now. As you can see, we can make out some of the gorgeous scenery that's coming from FTX Global. I still haven't purchased any of the America Orbex scenery. I'd love to do that. See what's in store for us. Nevertheless, you can see the ILS feathers there on the EFIS coming into play, and just as we approach Mercy, we should be able to go ahead and intercept the localizer We've got approach hold switched on now. Probably don't need to do it just yet, but there we go, I've just gone ahead and done it. Pretty bare down there, but if you look at it, those are actually houses, so like a built-up area. Love the views coming into KLAX. It's been a while since I actually did a flight into KLAX, I think. Either that or we've done a different approach. But nevertheless, as you can see, the localizer there is coming into play. The glide slope isn't just yet. We should intercept that just as we make our way onto the ILS feathers. I'll be interested to see what Ultimate Traffic Live is actually like at KLAX. I've heard that some airports, depending on the settings that you use in the program, can be absolutely inaccessible almost. So I hope that's not the case, because I'm really looking forward to using the program to add a little bit more realism. The aircraft do react in Ultimate Traffic Live. They do like go-arounds and stuff like that. If there's like something on the runway, and I've heard it. I've seen so many videos of it and heard so many good things. I just had to go ahead and buy it. Apologies about the stutter there. We've got some scenery loading in. Again, I'm using a different set of settings, if you will, in the sim. Basically, I've just turned down the anti-aliasing a little bit. I'm using Nvidia Inspector as well, so the quality might not be as good, but that's how you basically have to do it. You have to sacrifice quality for performance in some instances. Heathrow, for example, with the 747 is bearable, but it can be impossible at night time. So the settings that I'm using at the moment, I made that setting set or preset for nighttime specifically because of the performance hit. But there we go. Coming in nicely. 2,200 is when we should be intercepting the glide slope. We're bang on with the localizer at the moment. Look at the city over there. Can't wait to get some Orbex scenery, some American scenery. I'm going to bring the speed down now and drop the gear. We're going to get a warning in a second. Should probably have waited a little bit longer. But the speed is coming back nicely now. We should be... There we go. That was short-lived. Should be on profile for our approach speed. I'm going to set 180 because that's the maximum for flaps 30 at the moment. And I'm going to set 138 on the speed. That is including a 5-knot compensatory addition for the wind. But there we go. As you can see, British Airways flight BA283 on the final approach into LA. The time is 3:27. However, the clock here in the cockpit is set wrong. That's set to UK time at the moment. So in the UK, it will be 11:27 PM. So there we go. That essentially means it's been 10 hours and 55 minutes, which, considering the fact that this flight was supposed to take 11 hours and 30 minutes, is not bad at all. Runway's in sight. So you've got some more buildings in sight now as well. I love the coastline and the mountains and everything about KLAX is just fantastic. I will probably go ahead and disengage at 1,000 feet as usual. I'm pretty comfortable that I can see the runway and everything. And we should be coming up on 1,000 any moment. Look at that scenery though. Speed's looking good. Exactly on profile.
1,000.
There's 1,000. And the aircraft's mine. I am in control. I don't know whether the increase in speed by 5 knots was a good thing or a bad thing. I'm hoping that I don't end up floating it as a result of that. Thank you very much, Ras, for telling me that we are on 2-4 right, or we're approaching it. Kinda gathered that already, considering the fact I programmed in the approach. 500 feet, checked. Just trying to fight the wind a little bit. It's pushing us a little bit to the right at the minute. 300 feet.
Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums.
Continuing. Looking sort of okay on the pappies.
50. 40.
We were, but there we go.
20. 10.
And... no, it's going to float. We did bounce it a little bit then. There we go. Right, get some reverses in because we don't have a lot of runway left. Yeah, we can take this rapid exit on the left. We can make it. 60 knots, manual braking. Reversers are stowed. Flaps on the way up. And here we are. Welcome to KLAX, people. Another floated landing, but not too bad. Still managed to get down before it was too late. Come to a nice stop here, and then what I'm going to do is have a look on Little Nav Map just for the gate that we're going to be travelling to, and I'll do a little bit of cleanup as well. So parking brake's set. We can switch on the taxis and off with the landing. Start the APU. Apologies for the sound loss. Just having a look over there. Right. Welcome, people, to Los Angeles. It has been one heck of a long flight, but we finally made it. I'm just going to have a quick look at the gate that we're going to be going to, and I'll clean up the aircraft and everything before we set off. And then we can finally get over there. So, right, VORs, traffic and data can all come off. The flight directors as well. And we can go ahead and switch the auto brakes to off. We can set the speed back to 100. The heading back to 360. And the altitude back to 00. Or full zeros, if we will. Just clear that message about the autopilot. And we will set off to the gate. So I'm not going to bore you with it. I will literally see you in a second. Alright, so in the end, we actually had to get a follow me because I am terrible at finding my way around KLAX for some reason. Nevertheless, taxi lights and turn-offs can come off. And this, on the left, if we can go a little bit further forward, is going to be our gate. See if I can't screw up the parking. Probably will. We're actually looking okay. Let's see if I can line it up perfectly without going too far or stopping too soon. Let's start slowing down a little bit. A little bit further. Come on, let's spool up the engines. And stop. There we go. Perfect. Right. Okay, so parking brakes on. We can switch to APU gen immediately. You parked a bit to the right. Alright, well maybe it wasn't perfect then. Fuel cutoffs for the first time in almost 11 hours. The engines are off. We can request ground power. Seatbelts off. No smoking off. We can request the jetway. And external power can be connected. Beacon light off, nav lights off. Fuel pumps off, we don't need those now. Hydraulics can come off. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Welcome to Los Angeles. We can request deboarding. British Airways BA283 is in the bag. We are here, we made it. Here's to the next flight, which I don't know what it's going to be. Leave me some comments, let me know what you'd prefer. I don't know what we're doing, we're going into the building by the looks of it. But nevertheless guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.